Hey, welcome everybody. This is Catherine, and this is going to be a Tapping for Wealth call. I'm not sure what number it is, but I'll post it on the title. And these calls are specifically designed to help people who are very intelligent and spiritual when it comes to manifesting. I talk about the three-legged stool and how a lot of times when people read Abraham Hicks or Pam Grout or any of the good manifesting mentors that are out there, they major league on strengthening their intellect and their spirit on manifesting issues. That's what they become very good at, the mindset of it and the spiritual belief of it. But the physical experience of what the body feels like when it is being used as a manifesting tool, this is the part that's missing. We don't have anybody teaching us what it feels like to be in the vortex, what it feels like to be in alignment, or what it feels like to be magnetized. And so I say, like, realization, materialization is what's the next logical step. So how we do this is, obviously tapping is fabulous because you're using your body to tap on it, right? Mm-hmm. And any experience that you're creating in your body, that while you are thinking your thoughts, you're also having a physical experience of some kind, your brain has to fire in a different way. If you're just thinking or saying your positive affirmations or whatever you're doing, that's fine. But when you're actually tapping, think about it, your brain is calculating and telling your body how to tap at the same time that you're dealing with whatever it is that you're going through. So EFT really, or tapping, really is a manifesting tool that is crazy efficient. The problem is that the two-legged stool, not only is it very wobbly, and think how many times wobbly is used in Abraham Hicks talks. Think about it, the wobble, right? You're standing on this two-legged stool trying to balance yourself on your mind and your spirit with no idea how to be physical. Well, here's the secret. The physical is the negative. The physical is the grief and the sadness and all that shit that you don't know how to feel because you're so fucking positive. So you got your two legs, you're on your stool, wobbling your little ass off. You can stay in good shit. It's kind of like a wobble board. You know, I'm kind of wiggling in my seat right now, imagining it. I'm wobbling back and forth, and I'm getting strong. Ooh, my strong. The wavelength. And you're wobbling all over, but keeping your balance. And so fucking proud of ourselves, right? And can't manifest ourselves out of a paper bag. So I invited a guest today who we just completed a recording. Her name is Jessica, and she is a former merchant marine officer, worker. I don't know. She doesn't have her tell herself properly. I don't want to demean her rank because I know it's so important, the rank. It really is. But the story she told was very telling because she made a decision many years ago, and even a secondary decision recently. I'm going to have her set that up for us so we can understand how and why we're going to tap. But what I'm wanting you guys to understand is that it doesn't matter whether you do yoga, if you do deep breath work, if you do, there are so many good therapies and remedies that involve the body right now. Kinesiology is out there. And even running once a day while talking to the universe or to God will help you. The more physical we get while we're doing our manifesting, the better we're going to understand, because something good manifests for you every single day. It does. You just have to look around and pay attention. Right now it's raining. I could just say, oh, it's raining. No, I live in the desert. The rain has incredible value. If I stop for a minute and I think how happy the plants are and how pretty it looks when everything washes through after rain, it has value, just like going to a movie has value. And that's part of the key of manifesting faster. So I'm going to welcome Jessica. We're going to do some tapping today. And Jessica, first I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself with your last name so that I always remember, well, hopefully, how it's pronounced, and then what your situation is briefly, because this is our tapping part, but I want to understand the departure you made from that career, because I know many people have to leave careers, and it's extraordinarily heartbreaking. And then tell us about the kind of the vows or the proclamations that you made to help yourself leave a beloved career, because that's the case, isn't it, Jess?
Yes.
Good.
Leaving my Big Blue was like cutting my arm and my leg, leaving maybe just one arm. I loved it. I loved it every day. I usually say that I danced with God every day I was out there. So in order to not to grieve my entire life, I focused my kids. I had to learn how to live ashore. I learned how to appreciate a Monday to Friday work. I learned to appreciate the small things in life. I learned to appreciate the weekends. And I look for my blue everywhere else but the sea. So I look at the sky. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then did you remember, was there a time when you made vows or promises to yourself that were even stronger than that, to again continue to protect yourself from that loss?
I actually made the decision in one clear day. I called my company on which I work on board ships and asked if I could come back, and they said yeah. And then I asked my boss on the current job that I had ashore if I put them against each other. That's what I did. And my boss on land, she gave me what I needed or what I asked for. And as soon as she gave me the go, I visualized myself closing the door to the sea. And I said to myself, I have closed that door, never to be open again. If life wants to open it for me in 15, 20 years, that's another game. But I myself will keep that door closed. And I haven't opened it.
Okay, so that, yeah. And good. That's good. That's what I'm looking for, because at the end, after we do the tapping, I'm going to have Jess kind of tell the end of that story, because I want to tap on this, because I think you can even hear in her voice. And I think part of it is like that we all have to grow up, Jess, right? That a part of us that's the kid that, and you got to live a dream to be on the sea so long and so many years, but sometimes in our own behalf we can make promises that can tie our hands later in life. So let's tap on this, because I just feel like I also have had some tremendous career shifts. Good grief. I've done a lot of different things, and I've loved them, and leaving them can be very challenging, because partly you're excited for the new stuff, but also you have to get over the old. So let's hop in, and let me ask, first of all, if you look back now at and allow yourself to peek, and I have to say I think this is the second time we've tapped, or third?
Jessica? Second. This is the second time.
Okay, this is the second. So we don't, and I don't recall the tapping in between, so we don't know quite, the amount of time, as far as what the tapping did last time and what have you. And so some things are shifting already, is my point, sorry. But at this point, if you look back to the sweetness of that career that you had to leave 16 years ago, and even just a couple years ago, really leaving it permanently behind you, how strong can you pull up what I call the echo of that original pain of having to say goodbye? Scale of 1 to 10.
I lost you there because you disappeared as you said that you could. The question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is the grief?
Yes, how much are you still in touch with how severe it was at the time?
Oh, it's a 9.
Okay, good. So then that's what we're going to go after. Is it possible that tapping can reduce that? And Jessica, are you willing to what I like to say, like throw the life preserver out and rescue that energy that's been working so long to protect you?
Oh, now you're back.
I'm back, yes. Are you ready and willing to go ahead and tap that and reduce that?
Yes, please.
Yes, and any of the rest of us, myself included, let's just lift up this, and everybody, what we know, I was trained by Gary Craig and at one of his meetings, and I was so grateful for that. I've been trained by a few people, but that was a treat. And what he said is there's such a thing as borrowing benefits, and that's when we get to share each other's upliftment from tapping together. Isn't that great, Jess?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so on the side of the hand, repeat after me. Even though I am a little overwhelmed.
Even though I am a little overwhelmed.
At how quickly things move.
At how quickly things move.
There's a part of me.
There is a part of me.
That still feels doubtful.
That still feels doubtful.
And I always want to honor that part.
And I always want to honor that part.
And even though it creates a conflict.
Even though it creates a conflict.
I completely love and accept myself anyway.
I completely love and accept myself anyway.
And even though a part of me is so excited.
And even though a part of me is so excited.
Because all of this makes sense.
Because all of this makes sense.
There's another part of me.
There is another part of me.
That is a little scared to leave spirit mind behind.
Is a little bit scared to leave what behind?
Spirit mind.
Is a little bit scared to leave spirit and mind behind.
Right. And even though that's a conflict too.
And even though that is a conflict too.
I completely love and accept myself.
I completely love and accept myself.
And even though I have no idea.
Even though I have no idea.
How to teach my body to be a manifester.
How to teach my body to be a manifester.
I cannot deny I'm really curious.
I cannot deny I am really curious.
Right. And so although I am conflicted in a way.
Again?
Although I am conflicted in a way.
Although I am conflicted in a way.
Because I love my spiritual and intellectual development.
Because I love my spiritual and
intellectual development.
Intellectual development.
Mm-hmm. I cannot deny that my manifestations have been coming slow.
I cannot deny that my manifestations have been coming slow.
So I'm ready to play this new game.
So I am ready to play this new game.
Okay, good deal. On the eyebrow point, I love the sea.
I love the sea.
Side of the eye. Probably was a mermaid in a past life.
Probably was a mermaid in my past life.
Underneath the nose. I was so fortunate.
I was so fortunate.
Underneath the nose that my dad was a seafaring person.
That my dad was a seafaring person.
Chin. And I grew up with it in my blood.
And I grew up with it in my blood.
Collarbone. It's something that was so important.
It's something that was so important.
Rib point through my 20s and 30s.
During my 20s and 30s.
Right. Underneath the arm, it was like the skin on my body.
It was like the skin on my body.
Top of the head. It was so natural.
It was so natural.
Eyebrow. Tons of hard work.
Tons of hard work.
Side of the eye. Sleepless nights.
Sleepless nights.
Underneath the eye. A lot of peer pressure.
A lot of peer pressure.
Underneath the nose. A lot of garbage to put up with.
A lot of garbage to put up with.
Chin. Living conditions that were not very fun sometimes.
Living conditions that were not very fun sometimes.
Collarbone. Nobody's fault.
Nobody's fault.
Rib point, there are storms at sea.
There are storms at sea.
Underneath the arm, and it's not fun to be rocking and rolling.
No, it's not fun to be rocking and rolling.
Top of the head, but I loved it.
But I loved it.
Eyebrow. And I never really considered.
And I really never considered.
Side of the eye. That leaving a beloved career.
That leaving a beloved career.
Underneath the eye is kind of like a breakup.
Is kind of like a breakup.
Underneath the nose. If you think about it.
If you think about it.
Chin. If you have a devoted lover.
If you had a devoted lover.
Collarbone. You would eat with them.
You would eat with them.
Rib point. Sleep with them.
Sleep with them.
Underneath the arm. Go through all the storms together.
Go throughout all the storms together.
Top of the head. Celebrate anniversaries.
Celebrate anniversaries.
Eyebrows. Just like a relationship.
It's just like a relationship.
Side of the eye. And breakups always suck.
And breakups always sucks.
Underneath the eye. And I never really made space for that.
And I never really made space for that.
Underneath the nose. I didn't understand why I would need to.
I didn't understand why I would need to.
Chin. But people create rituals.
But people create rituals.
Collarbone. Like funerals and wakes.
Like funerals and wakes.
Rib point. To celebrate the good.
To celebrate the good.
Underneath the arm. And say goodbye with love.
And say goodbye with love.
Top of the head. Because the truth is.
Because the truth is.
Eyebrow. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Side of the eye. I'm better than fine.
And I'm better than fine.
Underneath the eye. Years ago, I would not have known.
Years ago, I would not have known.
Underneath the nose. How to capture the sea.
How to capture the sea.
Chin. And bring it with me.
And stay with me.
Bring it with me, right. Collarbone. I had no idea. Right. Collarbone. I had zero idea.
I had zero idea.
Rib point. That my imagination. Underneath the arm. Could carry joy.
Could carry joy.
Top of the head. As well as pain.
As well as pain.
Eyebrows. So the pain of leaving the sea.
So the pain of leaving the sea.
Side of the eye. Washed over and through me again and again.
Washed to me and through me again and again.
Underneath the eye. And it was so painful.
And it was so painful.
Underneath the nose. Cut it off.
Cut it off.
Chin. I cut it off.
I cut it off.
Collarbone. I slammed the door.
I slammed the door.
Rib point. Locked it with 25 locks.
Locked it with 25 locks.
Underneath the arm. I said, I dare you to get out.
Again?
I said, I dare you to get out.
I dare you to get out.
Top of the head. I tried to corral my being.
I'm sorry, Katrin. Again.
I tried to cage my being.
I tried to cage my being.
On the eyebrow point. I tried to put my love of the sea in a box.
I tried to put my love to the sea in a box.
Side of the eye. Because I really believed.
Because I really believed.
Underneath the eye. I was protecting myself.
I was protecting myself.
Underneath the nose. Now I realize.
And now I realize.
Chin. Because of my excellent spiritual and intellectual development. Because I am so good at my intellect and spirit. On the collarbone. That I can achieve.
We work cut out. I'm on still
That's
stepping
okay.
on my chin.
Yeah, we're right on the collarbone. That I can achieve. And then I'm just continuing, just because my recording's blinking in and out. On the rib point, the safety that I need.
No, chin.
We're right underneath the arm. That I can achieve the safety I need.
That I can achieve the safety I need.
Top of the head, without closing that door.
Without closing that door.
Eyebrow. My imagination is spectacular.
My imagination is spectacular.
Side of the eye. I know exactly what it feels like to be at sea.
I know exactly what it feels like to be at sea.
Underneath the eye. So isn't it logical? Underneath the nose, that I could feed my spirit.
That I could feed my spirit.
Chin, with my own source of ocean. On the collarbone, that I could be my own big blue.
That one I lost. Got quiet.
That I could be my own big blue.
That I could be my own big blue.
Rib point. What if big blue in my imagination?
What if big blue in my imagination?
Underneath the arm is even more real than what I think is real.
Is even more real than I think it's real.
Top of the head, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I want the sea to be alive in me.
I want the sea to be alive in me.
I want to reopen the doors and trust the process. Okay, now we're going to drop down to the center of your chest. Are you with me, Jess? And I apologize for those listeners because my connection is weak. But we're on the center of the chest. I release to the cellular level. I release to the cellular level.
I release to the cellular level.
Any vows and promises that I made.
Any vows or promises that I made.
That are standing in the way of my going forward.
That are standing in the way of my going forward.
I release to the deepest core part of me.
I release to the deepest core part of me.
Any mistrust I have of my intuition.
Any mistrust that I have on my intuition.
Right. I release to the cellular level.
I release to the cellular level.
Any anger, bitterness, or resentment that I might be carrying toward any of the people that have been involved in the past in my career.
Any anger or, I lost you there?
See, I release, what I'm going to do, Jess, is I'm going to continue and we can listen to the recording ourselves afterwards because I'm continuing. Okay, so now I want you to lay your hand on the center of your chest. Take the deep breath as if your palm is breathing into your heart. And repeat after me. I welcome back all of this creative energy.
I welcome back all of this creative energy.
All of this beautiful part of my own being.
All of that beautiful part of my own me.
That was thinking it was protecting me all this time.
That was protecting me all this time.
I feel ease and relief.
I feel ease and relief.
Just knowing that I can be okay with the sea.
Just knowing that I can be okay with the sea.
No matter when, if, and how no matter how my future may open up.
No matter how my future may open up.
I know I don't need to be that careful anymore.
I know that I don't need to be that careful anymore.
Because my intuition is my buddy. My intuition is my friend. Excellent. Thank you so much for this tapping. I know this was rough because we had our signal going up and down, and that's life in Mexico for me. But I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you very much, Jess.
Thank you.
There you are. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're gonna have to listen to see if this is good enough to go, right? Because we got interrupted. But now that I have you back, though, how are you feeling about if you check in with the whole experience? Before it was a scale of 1 to 10. It was about a 9 in remembrance. So what's happening now?
It's a 3.
Okay, so it's down. What are you aware of? What are you aware of as you think about it?
I'm aware that I have been carrying around a sorrow that did not need to be there. It was all in my imagination, and that is
true.
That's such a relief. It was only imagination.
I like what Abraham says about, or even before them, when they say beliefs are created out of thoughts, right? And thought is easy to change. It really is when you do get that chance. But anyway, what I would do is I would go to OurMoneyMachine.com. That's that detachment machine. And I would go in there and just clean it up. Maybe write a letter to God. I always like to do that and kind of do a little complaining. How could you let me go 16 years being mad at the ocean or whatever you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Because if there's some residue left over, that's why I like to practice the detachment machine. Okay, so I would head on over for that. But thank you for stepping forward and doing this. And I know it took patience because we kept breaking up. But
it's okay.
There's so many people that are struggling in the whole career area, and if you get fired or if you feel like your hope is gone, it's like God really does use this everything, right? Wouldn't you say, Jess? No matter what happens, things always work out. That's life. Keep moving forward. It always works out. So enjoy your butterflies in your home, and keep me posted on what's manifesting.
Yes, I
would love for you to come back and be a tap partner again for the Tapping with Wealth, Jess. You're a wonderful volunteer. I just wish our audio was a little bit better.
It's okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care, girl. And anybody who wants information, you're welcome. About the Invisible Money Game, you can Google us, the Invisible Money Game, and you'll find us. Talk to you soon. Bye.